Hi, folks. Got an absolutely fantastic guest with me today, Matt Hoy. Been with UB40. How many years, Matt?
Oh God, I was with UB40 featuring Ali Campbell. You have to be very careful that you say
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
I was with them for just over 12 years. Well, just say 12 years, yeah, from 2010 up until 2021, around that time, yeah.
Did you enjoy that experience?
Um, do you know what? It was, I'll be brutally honest, it was a life-changing experience. I've been involved in music, really all my life. It's the only job I've done a little part-time stuff here and there, just trying to get into music before that. But yeah, music has always been my livelihood, and I've played with many different people, done many different things. But being with UB40 and experiencing that whole phenomenon of one of the biggest bands in the world and touring with that globally, and visiting places I'd never even heard of in some respects, and seeing the response to hit after hit after hit, that machine, and seeing the people enjoy that. And yeah, it was quite unique and a privilege all in one, one little package.
Like one of the things, obviously, we're going to talk about today is the council tax. Now, people are going to be freaked. They've had the letters coming in the last few days. It's gone up again, and this and that. So, tell me what's happening with you. You're Birmingham, aren't you? You're Birmingham Council, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so you're having a battle with them. Are you paying your council tax? Have you paid it before? What's the scenario?
I used to pay council tax back in the day when I was ignorant to the beliefs of what it was actually for. I haven't paid council tax. It will be 3 years this October. I haven't paid council tax. And the reason being is I always advise people just not stop paying and just that's it. You have to have a reason.
Yes.
Uh, I mean, the fact that it's not a lawful tax anyway, so it's not mandatory, and people are not aware of this.
Mhm.
Um, but the reason I stopped paying, and this is legitimately the legitimate reason I stopped paying, was because I have a friend called Mark Steele,
Yes.
who is a radiations expert, a radiation weaponry expert for military grade weapons. He deals with all of that kind of stuff. He has done for many years, and he's one of the I would say the founding fathers of the service side of it and the scientific side of it. So he knows the ins and outs of all of this kind of stuff. And he kind of basically gave me a lesson on what is actually in the 5G masts and what they actually
Yes.
do, along with the LED street lighting,
Mhm.
also onto the climate cameras, the ULEZ ones they call them in London, but they are dotted around the UK as well, especially in Birmingham, and what they actually are. So for me, I was absolutely dumbfounded, and it all happened covertly while we were all locked down.
Yes.
And these masts just went up everywhere, all over the country, especially Birmingham. They was just there everywhere. Um, and the amount of radiation these things are emitting
Mhm.
onto the people of Birmingham that are completely unaware of this
Mhm.
is just catastrophic. It really is catastrophic. And when you look at the locations as to where these things are
Mhm.
erected, they're over pubs where they know people are sitting there enjoying a drink and they're filling them with radio. They're next to schools, nurseries, supermarkets, anywhere where people are congregating to do something that recreationally or shopping or they're always there. You can see them. They're everywhere, and it's criminal. And then we go on to the LED street lights, which are very much a similar thing. The ULEZ cameras, which contain DEWs, which are directional energy weapons.
Mhm.
I mean, the cameras within themselves. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the Blade Runners.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, the Blade Runners managed to get the details of one of these opened up and sent to Mark, and he was able to look at it.
Mhm.
Um, that the actual cameras themselves, only 20% of that structure is a camera. The
Really.
rest DEW,
Really.
a laser.
Mhm.
Why would you need a laser in a camera that's,
Mhm.
basically just doing you for speeding, really?
And did you say that to the council?
I did initially. I sent them about 4 or 5 letters stating as to why I refused to pay. And the only thing they could ever come back with was that they acknowledged that I had an opinion. They
Yes.
never acknowledged what my opinion was. They just acknowledged that I had an opinion because they knew I was telling the truth.
Yes.
So for me, this has gone on for like 2 years. And just before Christmas, I mean, it's got to the point where the bailiffs or the enforcement officers around and everything like this. This has gone on for years now, and
So
it's
just
it's actually quite funny.
explain the process, because people will want to know, because there's a lot of people out there who may not agree with you, or may have different reasons that they don't want to pay the council tax. What is the kind of process, and what have you had to go through? The pressure from the council, etc. What's happened to you?
I tell you what it is. I think when you're in a position of knowledge,
Mhm.
that eases it a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because this is what they bank on. They bank on people's fear.
Yes.
So when they send you a letter saying that you're in arrears and it's all in bold black writing, then it's in bold red writing. You owe this. You will be summoned. Blah blah. People literally shit themselves. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they bank on.
Yeah.
And I've had this argument with the council before, which they've failed to acknowledge as well, is that not everybody out there has a backup system. Not everybody has a family or friends, or some people are on their own, and some
Yeah.
people that are on their own suffer from mental health issues.
Yes.
So when they're receiving these threatening letters through the post,
Yeah.
it doesn't help the situation
No.
as to people popping off and committing suicide because they can't deal with it.
Yes.
You know, it's absolutely awful. But yeah, that's how it started. So we had the you're overdue, you owe this, and then the lettering got bolder and bolder. Then it went from black to red and everything. Um, so this is at the point where I was replying with the reasons as to why I was refusing to pay, but they were just acknowledging that I had an opinion. They weren't addressing the opinion; they just
Yeah.
acknowledged. So then, from that point on, they illegally transferred my details to an enforcement agency, which first one dot number one dot that's illegal as well because they're not allowed to give your private details to a second party that you're unaware of.
Yes.
So that's when you start getting the letters from the enforcement agency now, and they're even more fraudulent than
Yeah.
the council because basically they're just buying up the contract. They just want the contract because if it gets paid, they get a percentage of it. That's all they are. They're just 1980s bouncers that turn up at your door, give me the money or we're coming in. But they haven't got a leg to stand on. So I've had that for literally 2.5 years.
Well, tell me about that. I mean, do they then turn up at your door? Do you have to not let them in? How does it go?
Oh, well, I've had them turn up at the door, but I've basically explained the whole situation as to why I'm not paying. And the first few times they were like, okay, well, we'll go back and report that. And then the one time I stated the law to them, which they couldn't argue with. But since then, I've just received threatening letters that we're going to come to the house within 7 days and remove goods from your property. It's like, no, you're really not. And first off, even that in itself, you would think they'd get the legalities of it right because I don't have goods in my house. I have private property. I'm not a shop. I'm not selling goods.
Yes.
So even that in itself, it's like they're all thick as pig shit.
Yeah.
But it was it was December 24. I had become tired, mainly because of the mental health side of things, with these people bullying
Yes.
people. I hate bullies.
Yes, same here.
Always have hated bullies. And I said to Mark, I said, look, in the new year, we're taking it to these bastards. We're going to reverse it. So we're going after them instead of them coming after us. So that's what I've done. I've literally, on every single avenue I can go down, I'm taking it to Birmingham Council and exposing their frailties, basically, and how fraudulent they really are, And people are so unaware of how fraudulent they are. Because what we were trying to do initially was just the 5G, but Mark is so technical and scientific in his posts and videos. People, and I'm guilty of this as well, people were watching or reading what he put, and after a couple of minutes or even 30 seconds, you'd turn off because you just didn't even understand it.
Yes.
So I was trying to come from a background of the music industry where you have 20 to 30 seconds to just shock people and they go, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
it seems to be working. I mean, they've blocked me on everything on social media now, the council, because I'm exposed. I mean, the first post I put out got over 32,000 views,
Okay.
which was phenomenal, you know. So they've stopped me from blocking them because they don't like the exposure.
Yeah.
But I'll continue to do it until people are aware of everything that they're doing, you know.
So how much time is it taking in your life, and how much mental strain is it putting on you?
Um, I don't. A mental strain initially was hardcore because it was the as they said, they'll catch with knowledge is power.
Mhm.
Um, so it's been a learning curve. The whole thing has been a learning. Now I'm in a position where I just want to get the bastards, and that's it. I just want to expose them for what they really are. And I want, actually, I mean, that is what I want to achieve. But I do want the whole thing to be just collapsed. Number one on the list for any council should be the people of that borough, the people whose they actually are. So I just want to see it all pulled apart and started again. Um, but it has taken up a lot of my time. But I feel since the COVID thing, it's all linked. It's all interlinked. The vaccine,
Yeah.
the 5G, the
Oh,
15, the nanotech. It's all there to be connected. And if you do your research and not follow the BBC, and you'll actually see it's there for you to go and read, and it's factual. It's all there. So as soon as people, and I'm thank the Lord, this year people are starting to wake up and just, I suppose they're getting the feelings that trusting their guts that something's not quite right and looking into it more now.
what do you think though about the general public and how they kind of collapsed over the whole COVID thing? They all stayed inside. They did the whole thing, and they don't really look out. They don't research. They don't do anything. Do you think we have any hope in this country of people waking up a little bit more?
I suppose there's always hope. There's always hope. I mean, you deal with it on a daily basis. I was dealing with it literally just before I come on with you. Um, this whole thing with the Ukrainian war and Russia and everything like that. People are just so. I mean, there's that kind of comedy meme that goes around. I support the newest thing that's going at the minute. I'll put the flag up away. It's like people just follow whatever the BBC or ITV tell them is the right thing to do. They don't bother ever doing the research. And the whole thing about the Ukraine at the minute, that people are going, oh, this is disgraceful, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, people fail to realize that in 2014,
Yes.
that, Russian nationals that were in the Ukraine were
Yeah.
actually being bombed
Yeah.
by the Ukrainians
Mhm.
for not for speaking their own language. I mean, what kind of person or country does that? But that never comes into a conversation. And it's always put your little blue and yellow flag up on your post and everything, or I'm talking shite, or you're an idiot, or blah blah. So you're always going to face that. But I
Well, I
just think,
always think that with those people is why don't you pack your bag and go and fight for Ukraine as opposed to writing it on a wall, I just think that there's so many people dying every week in that no matter what the rights and wrongs of it, you would want to stop this war. You would want to
of
stop,
course,
but it does seem that there is especially in the British government and all that they want a continuation. I guess because there's so much money in
of
it.
course. Well, the thing is, what baffles me is the fact that because what they don't understand, a lot of these people, by putting a flag of Ukraine in your profile, you are supporting war.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? The only people that are the victims of this are the innocent people of Russia and the innocent people of Ukraine. Nobody else. All their pockets are just getting lined thicker and thicker and thicker. Otherwise, these rich people. And if you put that flag in your profile, in some way or other, you are promoting a war.
Yes.
Peace is the. Let's go back to what John Lennon used to say. Peace is the answer. This is what we want globally. We don't want to back the Ukrainians. We don't want to back the Russians. We don't want to back the Americans. We don't want war. We want love and peace, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do your when you're working with your sort of fellow musicians, do you keep your political views sort of a bit quieter, or because I would imagine most of them will have a different opinion to you?
This is a great one because I literally, regarding the musicians I work with over the years, I speak to a handful now. The rest of them have either got little blue and yellow flags in their profiles or something or else to do with the last 5 years. You know what I mean? Or literally they've just blocked me or unfriended me, or they don't talk to me anymore. Or yeah, it's hilarious. So I'm quite happy with the way things are, because it's like you'll appreciate this, Liam.
Yeah.
It really has separated the wheat from the
Oh,
chaff. Do you know what I mean? So I'm quite happy with things at the minute.
yeah. How about sort of family around you? Personal relationships. Are they supportive of you?
Um, Luckily, my other half is the same as me. I think if
Right.
she was vice versa, we would have split up. Because there's many people that have our narrative, and their partners weren't, that they have split up, because
Yeah.
they couldn't live together. It was literally that bad. Um, I have a very small, close knit circle,
Yes.
um, which has been constructed over the last 5 years, and I truly know who my real people are now.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
a lot of people that try to be real,
Mhm.
but you can see the cracks and the little bits coming out here and again. Um,
Did you wear the mask? Did you feel bullied into that? How was?
um, I'll be brutally honest, Liam. At the very, very beginning, for the first week, I wore a mask,
Yes.
and I've said this in many interviews. I call it my Starbucks moment. I went in for a coffee with the wife,
Yeah.
wearing a mask because we had to.
Yeah.
Ordered the coffee, and then when we sat down, I took the mask off to drink the coffee. And we had another hour to kill, literally. So she said, "You fancy another coffee?" And I went, "Yeah, I'll get it." So I went to go up and order another coffee. She went, "No, no, no, no. You need to put your mask back on." I said, "But I haven't had it on for like 45 minutes sat there." She said, "No, and when you stand up, you need to." And I was like, "Oh, fuck off." And that I did a week of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was good. Yeah, I didn't wear the mask, but you did get the stick in the supermarkets, and I filmed a lot of the rallies where I have to say I thought the police behaviour was unbelievably appalling.
yeah.
They were charging the crowds and things like that, and hitting old women and stuff like that. So, are you still like a BBC license holder? Have you packed up the BBC yet?
Come on. What do you think? No,
Go
I
on.
don't pay television license. I haven't paid that, God, literally for, it's got to be about 5 or 6 years. I haven't paid TV license.
Do you get stick with that one as well? I mean, I haven't got one either. And actually, fact, I've never had a problem.
No, no, nothing at all. I'm looking forward to them coming round, because any corporation or anybody that represents the BBC and the amount of paedophiles that
Yes.
come represented over the years, I'm looking forward to challenging them on it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't pay that. I don't pay energy bills either. I haven't paid energy bills for about 18 months. I
Oh,
don't pay water rates either, because I have a distiller, and I luckily have access to a scientist who can draw out whatever chemical extractions are in the water, and I have knowledge as to what's in there, so I know the damage it can do to the human body. So there's no way I'm paying for that. And I've got a distiller, so I can send them what I extract from the water in
really?
the post. They should so wish to test it themselves. Yeah.
So are you being like harassed from all sides? Council, water, TV, people battering on your door?
No, no, not anymore. Because, and I'll tell you for why. Because they know what I'm saying is the truth, and legally, as a standpoint, they know they can't do nothing to me legally.
What are you thinking about the present government? Are you enjoying living under Keir Starmer at the moment? How are you feeling?
I'm off. I'm off. I'm done with it. The whole thing is a farce.
Yeah.
It's all a farce, but all parties are a farce. Reform's a farce. They're just conservative 2.0. The whole thing needs to be brought down to the ground and started again. It's all the same. What they call it, the two cheeks of the same arse. It's all part of the WEF, the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Um, it's all a big farce and just needs to stop now. We need to get off the boat, off the bus, and just rethink the whole thing and start again.
I wonder if we will. I wonder if we've got it within us. I always felt, and I thought COVID was a real eye opener, because I reckon that there was about 4 or 5 million people in this country that kind of stood up. And
Yeah.
I don't see that number increasing hugely, maybe a little bit, but there is still a whole vast amount of people out there who just go along with everything, you know?
I think Yeah, I agree with you. I think that what we need to happen is some form of party that maybe 50%
Yeah.
doing the right thing. And it's the best we're going to get for now, so we go along with it, so we can introduce the other 50% further down the line, or
Yes.
show people what the truth and what real can't get my words there, what the reality of life is at the moment, you know.
Have
But yeah,
you thought of emigrating? Have you thought like this is it? I can't
every
sit in the country anymore.
day, every day. God, but where would you go? It's the same all over the world, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
know,
think it's.
away from.
I know. Well, look. I really appreciate you coming on because folks out there, I admire people like Matt because you stand up, and it's not easy to stand up. It takes a bit of balls and a bit of guts, and you lose friends and you lose jobs and all of that. So it's a sort of a bit of a lonely road, isn't it?
It, it is, and also I'm very thankful for what you've just said there. But I have got a lot of people stood behind me
Good.
because I feel like that I may have like a small platform or wherever I have had from the band to help push this forward. There's a lot of people behind me feeding me information and giving me stuff and propping me up. I'm not just doing it on my own. So I want to give all those people out there a big shout out as well. You are.
Yeah, and so before we go now, for people who want to support you or want to get involved in your message, or also just want to get involved in your music, where
Yeah.
where could they sort of follow you on?
Well, there's three things. If you follow me on X or
Yes.
Twitter, whatever it is, it's Matt Hoy Official. I'm on there. If you go onto Facebook, there's a page called Matt Hoy Fighting 5G in the Councils. That's building. That's only been out there a month, but it's building rapidly. Also, if you want to check my music out, I'm on Spotify. Just put in Matt Hoy, and all my albums are there for people to listen to and enjoy.
Yeah, fantastic. Which was the best? Which is the best album for people to get?
Strong. That's my latest album. I did that in 2021, and I've got some wonderful people on there with me. Backing vocals from Luther Vandross, Patricia Lacey on there, and Walter Chancellor, who played sax with Prince, and loads of people on there. It's great.
And is there anywhere that they can see you soon?
Not at the moment. I'm doing the Motown thing. I'm enjoying that, but I'm kind of concentrating on this really. I just want
Yeah.
to get this, but I will have some big news coming soon regarding something within the entertainment industry, but it won't be music. So there's the clue.
Right, it's about to pack up on me, so really appreciate Matt Hoy. Best of luck with the future. Keep fighting for us all, and
Man,
lovely to meet you, Matt.
bless you. Thanks, Liam. Pleasure to meet you too, mate.